Well, hello. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon to everyone behind the camera. Today, we have a special session of Igat's Yapping session. This time, we are not in Minecraft, but we are instead looking through my magazine that I did for this assignment. I think it was 13 weeks or 14 weeks ago. Might even be 12 weeks ago, but no, actually, it might be 6 weeks. I'm not sure, but I was tasked to do this assignment about what's it about? About the SDG. You have to pick two SDG, the Sustainable Development Goal, and make a magazine out of it, or make stories out of it, and make a magazine out of those stories. So it doesn't have to be a magazine per se. It can be sort of any publication or any written publication that you want. We have to print it out. So my thought process was, I have the time now. I put in a lot of effort into this magazine. So I thought you might as well make a author's commentary. So maybe calling it a yapping session is not so suitable. So let's call it an author's commentary instead of my magazine or my publication called Pitfall. So what this session will basically entail, or what will happen in this session, is that I'll go through page by page what my thought process was behind it. I'll even go through the stories, and we'll see how long this takes. It might take 15 minutes, it might take 30 minutes. Hopefully it doesn't take an hour. I have stuff to do after this. But without further ado, let's start with our first page itself, the cover page. So as you can see here, I can immediately tell the style I went for. I was very inspired by the countless cyberpunk / brutalist designs out there. It has been growing in number quite a lot over the years. Like, maybe it's just because it's my For You page. I'm not sure about, maybe, let's say, someone who likes nature or someone who likes, I'm not that sure what else comparisons I can make, but their For You page might be different. But for mine, brutalist designs, cyberpunk designs, all this type of designs has been very apparent. It has been very, it's been growing in numbers quite a lot. So eventually I took up on it, and I decided that I want my magazine to have this type of design. Now, to the teacher watching this, you already know that this is not the first time I'm trying this design. In fact, I have did this design in my previous magazine. Maybe I'll make a video about that soon, hopefully. Maybe not. No promises there. But yeah, this is my second time trying it, and I personally, to me, I think this design is better, not way better, but better than the previous one. It doesn't completely outshines it, but I think this is more realistic. You'll see why in a second, but let's first go through my thought process behind this. So I was actually inspired by one very specific artwork I saw on Instagram. I saw that they use the grid pattern, these grids, as the design itself. So I didn't go through with that 100%, but I did take inspiration by this layout over here, the flower here. Basically, they took one big image and sectioned it off using the grid. Normally, if I were to do this, I did this in my previous assignment, but I didn't section it off using the grid. Instead, I just sectioned it off randomly. But there is a system here that basically an artist utilizes, which is the grid, and I just didn't know it could be utilized that way. So I took inspiration from it, and I actually designed my cover page following that. I also added these leaves here. Leaves? It's not leaves, these flowers, to obscure the, what do you call it? What's this called? The title. And just to add some kind of perceived depth for the audience. And then obviously we have the other, what's this called? There was a specific word my teacher asked. The subheading, basically the stories here. And as I said before, my publication is not closer to a novel or not graphic novel, to a novel rather than a magazine. So I only have two stories in here. One is Dead End and one is Stragglers in Foreign Lands. Both of these were written by me personally, and to me, these are good stories to me personally. Of course, author's biasship and all whatever, but I like these stories. I think I did a good job in it. I'm gonna pat my back for that. Oh my god, this is embarrassing. So I don't think there's much else to go through here. I've already told you about my inspiration, my thought process behind it. Oh, one thing, I want to give myself another pat on the back. I did this gradient feathering thing for these two rectangular shapes here, and those two additions was something I was greatly, what's the right word, alleviated the design. It basically pushed the design from an A to an S. That's how much this rectangulars did for the design, because before this I was like, it looks okay, but something missing from it. But with those two small additions, it completely changed my perception towards the design. So yeah, another pat on the back, man. Another pat on the back. Igat, be proud of yourself. Oh my god. Okay, so let's go through the next page, or the spread here. So as you can see, that is me. I look the same. I did this all in Photoshop. Let me see if I have the tab open. Yeah, you can see a lot of layers here. If I just, did not mean to do that. If I just click all this, you can see how many images I had to edit for this assignment. It's a lot, but it's not that, actually it is time consuming, but it's not that hard. It's just repetitive, because I already know what I was doing. It wasn't particularly challenging. I just, copy pasting, and then removing the background here and there. Yeah, it was a whole ordeal, but I got through it. So I did the same thing here, removed the background. But what I experimented here is I blurred the face only and added a background towards that. And from there, that looks good. So I started experimenting from then on. I started to add different colors towards my body. And then you can see here, there's a few patchworks here. And then we also have the background text that acts as what I would call greebling. Greebling is something that's known, if you are part of the Lego community, you know what the term is used for. But it's basically what it basically means, is that it refers to small details that is built out of Lego normally, but here is small details built out of using this small text. I think the size of this text is like 2, 3, or 6. Never mind, it's way bigger than I thought. But yeah, we also have the reflection part of this publication. This reflection is for the assignment. This video is not part of the assignment. I just thought doing it would be cool, and it's a form of procrastination for my other assignments as well. So I did this, pasted it here. My teacher said I could do it separately, but I decided not to. Since I had a page or two to fill up, I just decided to put this in, and it looks good. I added the editor's note here, talking just a slight bit about the design. It's like, I think, around 100 words, less than 100 words, somewhere around there. But those two, like before the editor's note, it was just this. I planned to put this whole thing here, but I couldn't fit. And originally I wanted to put a table of contents here, but I couldn't fit everything in there. So I decided, you know what? Let's make use of the negative space, put this here, and then add the editor's note just to fill up the space here. And I think it perfectly balanced the whole thing out. It doesn't feel too empty and it doesn't feel too filled up. But this is a contrast to the next page, where we can see our first story, and this page is completely filled up. This is what I mean by the brutalist style, where to me the core essence of it is filling up the space with as much things as you can. Now, if you see actual brutalist designs, those made by professional designers, it is way better than what I did here. But this is not a poster. This is essentially a magazine or a written publication, a printed publication, sorry. So I decided let's keep it simple. Let's not go with the design too much, or let's not go through with the design too much, since this spread was the first thing I designed in this assignment. Only then I deciding the other pages, and the final page I did design was the Pitfall before adding minor adjustments here and there. Oh, it's getting hot. Let me turn on the aircon. God, it's already hot here. I can't imagine in Europe what the temperature is now. But yeah, moving on. This first story talks about a dystopian world where basically everything fails But more importantly, it relates back to SDG 13, climate change. And this is a world where, how do I describe it? Humans, instead of solving climate change, they instead made it worse, not by throwing rubbish here and there, but instead powering the disaster that came with it. So one of the aspects that I touch in the story is that, sea levels are rising, heat is getting even more hotter in various countries. So instead of solving the core issue, humans instead empowered the issue. They started making electricity out of the of the rising sea levels. They started making power out of the heat that is increasing or rapidly increasing throughout the years. So the core issue is still there, and by the humans powering the climate change, I guess, they're essentially exacerbating it by making it worse, since it's a whole cycle. So obviously this this whole story is less than 1,500 words, since the limit of this assignment, the goal of this assignment is to have 2,000 words plus. So I had to play around with my words, so I couldn't offer too in-depth detail, but I think what I wrote here is sufficient enough to paint a vivid picture. And the protagonist, I can't really say protagonist, it's not really that type of story, but the story essentially revolves around this creature here, his humanoid looking abomination. So he's crawling through this dystopian earth, through this ruined earth, trying to find a once abandoned city to actually take shelter from. And the twist at the end, should I reveal the twist or not? I don't want to reveal the twist yet. So let's move on to the next page here, where I use more visual or more pictures to paint a vivid picture. Corporations shaking hands, they're experimenting on humans. Oh yeah, another aspect, and touch on this. Instead of fixing the issue, they instead tried to fix humans to adapt to the issue. They started feeding or experimenting on these humans on various drugs to make them resilient to the growing heat in this world. So basically what they were doing is essentially everything but addressing the core issue, which eventually led to the ruined world here. So again, this is a very, very simple page, but I really like it. I really like how I layered the pictures here. We have the background picture, and then we have the main picture here, and the contrast is really nice over here, especially with the shaking hands part. It really sets the mood and the tone that this is a dystopian, I can't really call it basically, I can't call it a sci-fi, a dystopian story to say. So then we have our final page, where I try to justify the SDG or the relevance of the SDG here. I did this for both stories itself. So here it's SDG 13, climate action, and I go a bit in depth about why this topic or why this SDG is related to the story, what changes can be done, so on and so forth. Typical student writing stuff. Nothing very important. But this leads me on to the next story called Dead End, featuring Ryan Gosling and Hugh Jackman. I don't know, when I wrote this story, I had these two characters in mind, so I decided, what, why not? Ryan Gosling acted in this dystopian movies before, Blade Runner 2047, 2049, sorry. And Hugh Jackman just looks constantly angry. The pictures here were taken from Prisoners and Blade Runner respectively. So this story is not in a dystopian sci-fi setting. Instead, it is a very more personal or character-driven story, where it features two characters, a father and a son. The father here being Hugh Jackman, and the son here being Ryan Gosling. So it basically shows what someone, or the length someone can go to without education, what people will go through in the future with no education, or without education in their background. So this is related to SDG, let me get this right, SDG 4. quality education. Hopefully I got that right. If not, it would be more embarrassing than this whole presentation, so-called presentation, I guess. But let's go through the design here. So at first I didn't know where to put the title here being Dead End. I tried to put it here, it didn't fit. I tried putting it over here, it didn't fit. I tried to always limit it to the margin here, the pink box. Oh, that's messy, the pink box around here, but it looked very similar to the other pages that I did. So I tried experimenting, and then I eventually said, you know what, screw it, I'm going to put the title shoved right in the corner here, and I'm going to extend it using rectangulars, because if you actually hide these images here, that is the wrong layer. Oh, that's locked, sorry. You can see here, I actually extended the, what's this called, the title here, using rectangulars. Normally you would use the scale feature, but I just couldn't get the right, the right style I wanted it to be. So I decided, you know what, let's just spam rectangles here, and then eventually I got a satisfactory result. And I added images here and there. Now it looks like a movie poster, which was my aim. It looks like a Noah movie poster, and you know what, I'm happy with it. Hugh Jackman and Ryan Gosling really uplifting this page here. But the next page will be even more so, with Ryan Gosling dead shoved in the center, or not really in the center, but basically he takes up the majority space within the page. He's the main focus attraction there, and you know what, for Ryan Gosling, he deserves to be there. So yeah, this is when he was still going through trial. Oh yeah, I should probably explain what the story is about. So this guy, the son, Ryan Gosling, he basically committed a murder. You know, people without education, they can't really get a job, they don't have proper qualifications. So I decided to see, you know, what's the worst case scenario, and you know, that's just joining gangs. That's basically the, let me choose my words correctly here, the easiest scenario to imagine someone without education going to. And you can't blame them. It's an easy way to get money, it's an easy way to get shelter, it's an easy way to get connections. It's basically a good way if you don't have education and if you're willing to take the risk. I should not say it's a good way, it is a easy way that I can imagine people without education being gravitated towards to. Yes, I do not want to influence violence here. Especially this was assignment. If this was me talking just for my friends, yeah, why not? But there, I can't step out of line here. But yeah, I put Ryan Gosling here. I put an image. I forgot what movie this is from, but it's basically him in a prisoner's outfit. Then him in this is from La La Land. It's a shot of him playing the piano. Originally it was a bit tilted downwards. Let me see if I can show you. Yeah, as you can see, the image originally was tilted downwards here, so he was leaning forward like a hunchback. But I decided to basically rotate it the other way around, and now it looks like he's standing straight. I feel like without, or even with knowing the context, he still looks like he's standing up here instead of being hunchback and playing the piano here. But yeah, I added a gavel here to, you know, visual representation again. Oh my god, what buttons am I pressing? Oh, my saliva's running out. I need to take a sip of water. Give me a moment. Sorry about that. There's not going to be any cuts in this video. I don't really want to edit it too much. Maybe I'll add some background music here and there, but who knows? That's a good sip of water. So I added a gavel here, visual representation for the story being told, and yeah. You can pause. I was about to say you can pause too if you want to read the story, but just realized they really can't read it if it's this small. Later I'll do a run by again, make sure it's zoomed in and you can read the story. So in the next chapter, he's in prison. He's having a conversation with his dad behind the, what do you call it? Prison wall? Not prison wall. the visitors booth. The father's on the other side, Ryan Gosling's on the other side. They have a phone in their hand, connecting them both. And Ryan Gosling is handcuffed, and basically they are having a heartfelt conversation here. The father saying sorry that he couldn't afford education, or he couldn't afford education, and he couldn't get the opportunity to put his son into a good school or into education alone. And the design here, originally the handcuffs wasn't there, but I was trying to find the image of Ryan Gosling to put that, but just nothing worked out. Everything just looked ugly, it just looked unproportioned. Oh, mic is blocking me. There you go. And so I decided, let's choose an object here similar to the telephone phone I did there. So I was going through what can I put there. I went through cigarettes, but cigarettes really didn't make sense. You can't really smoke in a visitation booth. Well, not that I know of. I've never been to prison before. Hopefully it stays that way. But yeah, I just put handcuffs there. I'm pretty sure prisoners in visitors booth are still handcuffed. So that's where my thought process was going. And yeah, once I put the handcuffs there, everything just fit together. One picture there brought together the whole page. And yeah, by then I would start, I'm happy with this page. I decided to move on to the next page, which would be the final one. This is still the heartfelt conversation between Hugh Jackman and Ryan Gosling. It's the final sentences here, and it's basically Hugh Jackman saying, "I'm sorry for the final time," as Ryan Gosling is escorted away from his father. So very nice scene. Well, to me personally, again, it's biased. Hopefully you like it as well. And in the next page, you can see the SDG justification here again. It's me saying that, why SDG 4 quality education is relevant to this story. And it's not me pulling at strings. I truly wrote the stories to fit the the SDG integration, instead of the other way around. Instead of, what am I mumbling about? Instead of picking the, no, that's what I did. Yeah, never mind, forget the train of thought. I'm not sure what I was saying there, but yeah, I wrote the stories to fit the SDG instead of picking the SDG to forcefully fit into my stories. Yes, that's the word I was looking for. Oh my god. But yeah, I think the next page should be our final back page. Yes, here we go. Before this, it was completely black, not black, dark. The color scheme was essentially the same as this page here, but I decided, you know what? Since I'm going to print this out anyway, the first page and the last page has to be the same. And one of my friends, Shunwen, she said, better make it pink. Then the first page and the last page would be nice. I think that's what she told, quote unquote. But yeah, I think I agree with it. Before this, it looked kind of bland, kind of plain. It looked ugly, but changing it to pink somehow made it better. I'm not sure why, but if it works, it works. So this is not the final design. I may tweak it around here and there. If you can see here, let me zoom in. I just got lazy and I decided to use the same image for here as well. But since I'm doing this video here, I may change the video link to a to a QR code, and I put it there and say, author's commentary or something. Maybe it'll be a nice touch instead of just a boring. It's not even a boring picture, it's just the same picture, it's just lazy. So yeah, I'll probably change that since I have a few days before submission anyway, and I'm planning to print it out tomorrow or today anyway. So I have time, I've got a bit of time. I'm doing this. Oh, is this the wrong color? It's the wrong color, sorry. Oh, it's the right color, never mind, sorry about that. But yeah, so I promised a run through so you can read through the story. Let me scroll back up. Let me zoom out. Does that look good? Yeah, that looks good. So yeah, you can pause to read if you want. I'll just be talking on and on, I guess, to fill up the space in time. You can pause. If you pause, I hope you enjoy reading. Let me scroll down. You can read this through, admire my face. Go ahead. This is getting a bit awkward, but a second. If you can't see it, let me zoom in. Yes. If you still can't see it, because I can't see it from here, let me zoom in. Yes. So go ahead, pause if you want to read through it. No, it's not really important. Let me go through the actual important story here. That works. This works better. So you can, pause, read through it if you want. Let me scroll here. Ooh, let me try to get everything in one frame. Okay. There you go. Pause, read through it. Done. Let's go to the next page. Okay. Pause, read through it. Truly, you have to read through it. This is a good story. It's one I'm proud of. Hopefully, you all read through it instead of just skipping this part of the video. Let's go to the next page. Finally, this SDG one you can forget. It's not really that important to the story or to the overall tone of the story. Here you can pause to read through it. Admire Ryan Gosling face this time. It's truly a face worth admiring for. There you go. Pause, read through it. Done. Good. And the final page. And that is about it. But yeah, I'm very proud of this assignment. I think since it's 26 minutes left, let's make it 30 minutes. Since we have time, 4 more minutes, let us look through my previous assignments. Or the previous magazine. Where is it? So I can actually show you why I think this is good. So this was my previous magazine. The limit was only like, if I recall, 8 pages, 10 pages. So you can clearly see here what I've learned and or what do you call it? You can clearly tell that this is my first try at this brutalist style. The cover page here itself, you can see that the text here really isn't that clear. I use a particularly dark color that doesn't really contrast well with the background, but instead it's not that big of a deal to me at the time, but looking back now it really looks like a problem here. I would not have made the same decision now that I did that day. But yeah, for this assignment, a lot of images I used were 2D instead of 3D images like Ryan Gosling or Hugh Jackman. So you can see here, this is from the game Citizen Sleeper, 9 Souls. This is from Cyberpunk Edge Runners. So all of this is 2D characters. They are not humanoid. They are not flesh and bones. They are not skin. They are not 3-dimensional. So maybe that's why it looks a touch worse. I don't want to say worse because it's not that bad. But it's just, the one I did or the one I just showed everyone, I feel like that is way better. But no, there are still some pages here or some spreads here that I prefer way more than my current spreads. Like, I really like this spread here. I'm not sure why. Like, to me, this is more objectively better, but personally, I like this spread more. And here, this is also very nice. Sorry about that. This is also very nice. Also, all 2D images. The background is 3D though. A lot of it's from games that I took. But yeah. But this is not meant to be printed, or this assignment is not meant to be printed. The previous one is. So I could play around with it a bit more in terms of colors, but here I had to make sure, or this current assignment, I had to make sure the colors stick, or the color is, there are no changes to the color, that I'm confident with the color I use. So maybe that's why I paid more attention to it here. Maybe this is just a ramblings of a guy just stalling for time. But yeah, I think that is about it. Hopefully you enjoyed this 30-minute video. I was not expecting it to be 30 minutes. I know at the start I said, this could go on for 15 minutes, 30 minutes to an hour, but I truly thought I would be done in 10 minutes tops. I didn't know. My god, it's 29 minutes now. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the video. This is my third time saying it, for the 4th time now. And I'll hope to see you in the next yapping session. Who knows when that's going to be. Maybe it's going to be another Minecraft video. Maybe it's going to be me talking about my assignments again. Who knows? But thank you for watching. Goodbye.